We are bracing for the winter storm that brings some mixed precipitation to the area starting tomorrow morning in the form of snow and then gradually going to sleet, freezing rain and rain by tomorrow evening. It's cold and it's dry outside tonight. 24 degrees. The dew point is down at 7. The breeze coming in out of the northeast at 7 miles an hour. So plenty of cold air in place, and the storm developing right down here is going to shift its energy to a new area of low pressure that gains strength over the Carolinas. And this one is not going to our south and out to sea as snow lovers would like to see it go just south of us. It's going to take that left-hand turn and come up I-95, which enables milder air to come in off the ocean and bay, and that's why we're going to see a mixed bag of precipitation types. Tonight is just dry out there, and it's going to take some time to moisten up the lower layers of the atmosphere tomorrow morning, but eventually we'll get it to happen. And this is 1 o'clock in the morning. The clouds start to filter in. By 9 o'clock in the morning, we start to see the signs of a little bit of snow here to the south, and watch how fast that moves northward. It's going to fall into somewhat dry air, so it may take some time to get going. You might just see some flurries and light snow at first, and by early afternoon, I think the snow really picks up around noontime in Chesterfield County, into Henrico and Hanover by 1. And notice here, this is by 3 o'clock, the milder air surging in aloft, but the cold air, the wedge as we always speak of, just east of the mountains remains in place. So that's why we'll see some icy conditions here. This is freezing rain and sleet occurring maybe on the west side of the metro, maybe even in the metro for a couple of hours. So I'm a little concerned. Bridges, overpasses, it may look wet, but it may be icy. And especially to the west here, this may linger for a few hours. This is by 7 o'clock in the evening, and the warm air really starts to take over. So we'll see heavy rain and strong gusty winds, but areas to the west will stick with some icy conditions. And I think really from Goochland and Powhatan down through Farmville and all the way to Southside, could be looking at some pretty significant icing through the early evening. Then the rain departs by later on tomorrow evening. So here's how it plays out. All rain along the coast. We get a little bit of a mix east of town, shifting over to rain. A little dicier here over the metro area as it gets icy for a little bit longer. We eventually go to rain and more snow and sleet and ice off to our west. In terms of potential totals, on the east side of the metro, I think an inch or two of slushy accumulation. On the west side, maybe a little bit more, and maybe some decent icing here, especially as you go west on I-64 and down towards Farmville. The big snow winters and sleet winters will be up here along the I-81 corridor. Could be seeing up to a foot in some locations. Here's the ice threat, and it does include parts of Metro Richmond. Again, a little bit of concern that we may see some ice for a couple of hours, but off to the west is where the significant icing threat is. There's going to be a lot of wind with the storm, and that's going to lead to some coastal and tidal flooding as well. So a little bit of everything on the way over the next 24 hours. Not tonight. It's dry, 21 in town, teens in rural areas. Tomorrow morning, the snow moves in and it picks up through early afternoon. That goes over to sleet, freezing rain, and eventually some very heavy rain. So any accumulation is probably going to wash away tomorrow evening. Storm is gone by about 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Monday's a windy and cold day, maybe a flurry. Temperatures in the mid-40s and dry through much of the week. Warms up on Wednesday, a few more showers on Thursday.